And I just honestly never learned my lesson because that strategy never works.
Well, this is interesting.
I was hoping that you would not come up. Good morning. Thought we'd have a little coffee chat before getting into today's vlog. I feel like starting your health and fitness journey is definitely hard and it's so easy to procrastinate. But honestly, for me, the real challenge is staying consistent once I've started, especially in those first couple weeks once the novelty has worn off. But you still have to keep doing all the right things, even though you probably haven't seen any results yet. I'm in the middle of that right now. I have been back on track after the holidays for about a month now, like really focusing on fat loss, my nutrition, my workouts, and I have not seen any changes in my physique. My weight on the scale is not going down and my measurements aren't going down, and I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed, honestly. Here's the thing, this is not my first rodeo. I know that I just need to be patient and stick with it, but honestly, that's still hard to do, even though I know that this is how it works. So in today's vlog, I'm gonna share all of my tips for staying consistent on your health and fitness journey and all of the ways that I make it genuinely fun and enjoyable, because honestly, when health and fitness becomes something that you love and look forward to, it is so much easier to stick to. And I hate this idea that we have to wake up every day and suffer, and I just don't think that's true. Of course, there are going to be days or periods of time in our life where we do need to rely on discipline, but I really think the best thing that we can do for ourselves is make it easy and fun. So that is exactly what we're doing today. For my first tip, I want to talk about the importance of preparing in advance. And I need to start with a story that is going to sound so ridiculous. So I've wanted to become a morning person and start waking up at 6 a.m. for years now, and I could never get it to stick. I would do it for a few weeks and then I would fall off. I would always just feel so exhausted and I could just never make it work. So I figured, like, maybe I'm just not a morning person and it's just not possible for me. That was not true. Do you want to know the thing that finally helped me to stick to waking up early? It's been a couple of weeks now that I've been able to stay consistent with it. I wake up between 6 and 6:45 every single day. I feel fantastic, so high energy. All I needed to do was start going to bed earlier. And that's gonna sound so stupid and obvious, but the truth is I was just setting a 6 a.m. alarm without really changing anything about my bedtime routine, and obviously I just felt exhausted every day when my alarm would go off. Once I started really making it a priority to get to bed at like 8:45 or 9 o'clock, it became so easy to wake up early. And I think it just really speaks to the importance of planning, preparing in advance, and doing what you can to make it easier on your future self. And honestly, waking up early has been so much fun. Like this morning, my boyfriend and I had extra time before he had to leave to go into the office for work, and we literally just baked a batch of banana nut protein muffins. I'm living my dream, honestly. And I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out. It was so simple. It was right there in front of me the whole time. All it took was really prioritizing and focusing on the night before, rather than just setting an early alarm and hoping for the best. I'll talk about more of the ways that I prep and make things easy on myself throughout the vlog, but another thing I really love is laying out my workout clothes the night before. I used to think this was dumb. It's not dumb. It's actually really helpful. I'm also a huge fan of having a workout plan to follow. I just think it makes things so much simpler. I actually just uploaded a complete guide to write your own workout plan. If you want to check that out, I will link it up here. And I also just released a 7-day free trial of my fitness ebook. So you basically just get a free PDF download of the first week of of the program. I'll link it down below in case you want to check it out and try some new workouts. Of course, you don't need to follow my program, but I do think having a program is so helpful. My next tip is about shifting your mindset. Without getting into the details, I have some people close to me who are dealing with some really scary health issues right now, and I truly feel like it has been such a wake-up call for me. I have just been feeling so grateful for my own health and even just for the mundane things in everyday life, honestly. I feel like it's really reminded me what a privilege it is to be able to prioritize your health, move your body, take good care of yourself. I know you're probably not thinking about how much of a privilege it is when your alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and it's cold and pitch black and you have to go do your workout. Like, I get it. I've been there too. But I'm sharing this because I really wish that I could go back to myself a couple of years ago and like transplant this mindset into my brain. I wish I hadn't, I guess, like waited until a health scare came up to adopt that mindset. So my last tip before we get into today's workout is to just start. I think when it comes to working out especially, the most helpful thing for me is to just try not to think about it and just do it, because I am really good at making excuses and talking myself out of doing things that I don't feel like doing. So I just try to get myself to commit to those first couple of minutes to doing something, and then oftentimes I end up getting in the mood and then having a really great session after that. So honestly, I'm going to take my own advice here. I'm going to finish this coffee and I'm going to go straight downstairs and get into my workout, hopefully before I have a chance to think about it and talk myself out of it. While I am finishing my coffee and waiting for my caffeine to hit, I'm going to pick my workout. Not to like toot my own horn, but one of my favorite features of my workout program is the workout menus. So you can either follow the program as written like week by week, or you can go to the workout menu and choose the workout that you are in the mood for or that you have time for. So I think I can do 20 minutes of HIIT today. This is gonna be a tough workout. Don't think, just do. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of it, finish my coffee, and go do it before I can talk myself out of it. I'll give you a quick physique update, even though basically nothing has changed. I have been so bloated the last few days. It's really out of control, honestly. I feel like maybe my stomach is a little bit flatter than last time, but honestly, it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I look exactly the same. Although this is pretty good lighting, I'm appearing to have more ab definition than I actually do. I also put some fake tanner on last night, which definitely helps. Anyway. Oh my god, I'm dying. This is my own fault because this is a workout that I wrote myself. When I was writing and testing this program, I was in a lot better shape than I am right now. I don't know what I was thinking when I chose a HIIT workout for today, but we're halfway done, so. My arm is shaking trying to hold the camera. That was a great workout. Very difficult. I'm so glad I did that, even though I wasn't particularly in the mood. That was such a great session. I honestly need to lay on my mat and recover for a couple minutes. We will talk soon. Okay, it is time for brunch, and I'm going to make a juicy brunch, okay? I'm having a matcha latte, a banana nut protein muffin, and a Greek yogurt honey and berry bowl. And this brings me to my next tip, which is to stop eating gross healthy food. Trust me, there are just way too many ways to make healthy food taste so good for you to be eating chicken and broccoli and hating your life. Obviously, it's a different story if you actually love chicken and broccoli. If you do, I do have questions, honestly. I have done a ton of research on the science of this, but also I've learned in my own personal experience, being on a really restrictive diet, it's almost impossible to stick to in the long term. In the past, I will always get burnt out and start to resent it within like a week or two of starting. And also, it is totally possible to fit like unhealthy foods into your diet in moderation. I'm gonna share this recipe later in the video, but I actually have been putting mini Oreos into my Ninja Creamy protein ice creams almost every night for the past few weeks. Since I'm using calorie tracking as my method of fat loss, it's really easy to fit basically any foods you want into your calorie deficit, obviously as long as you can kind of make it work with your macro and calorie goals. I just find being overly restrictive with your diet makes it hard to stick to, which then of course makes it hard to stay consistent and actually see progress. So because honestly, it's something that needs to be sustainable, because it's not like you're going to see results overnight. You're probably going to need to stick to this for months to see the results that you actually want. There's a lot of really incredible research that shows when we put certain foods off limits, it makes them so much more enticing and hard to resist. I used to think that I was special and that rule didn't apply to me. Newsflash, I wasn't special and it did apply to me. This is really just a psychological phenomenon, and it's something that happens to the best of us. So if you're struggling to stay consistent because your diet is too restrictive, I would highly recommend thinking about ways that you can bring in foods that you love in moderation. Like for example, I'm trying to lose fat right now, but even after I'm done with my fat loss phase, I'm still gonna have to maintain that weight loss for however long I want to maintain that physique. So yeah, this needs to be something that's genuinely sustainable in the long term. So anyway, I'm gonna make brunch because I'm starving. I usually add a little bit of stevia and I honestly forgot, so I'm just gonna sneak that in. Otherwise, the Greek yogurt is a little bit tart. I've been having this breakfast like almost every day for the past couple weeks, and first of all, it's delicious, but second of all, it hits all of the kind of main points that I aim for with healthy eating. There's protein from the Greek yogurt, there's fiber and micronutrients from the fruit, and then there's also probiotics because the Greek yogurt is fermented, which is really amazing for gut health. Raspberries have a good amount of fiber, but I get even more from adding in that chia pudding. And here's another tip. I have started buying all of my berries frozen instead of fresh, and first of all, it saves you about $1 million because as we all know, fresh berries cost an arm and a leg. But my other problem with fresh berries is that I swear they get moldy 30 seconds after I put them in the fridge. Seriously, by the next day or 2 days after I buy them, they are moldy. I'm over it. I'm done with it. So obviously in the freezer, they stay good basically forever. And I found that I don't really mind that they're frozen. It actually gives it kind of like a fun ice cream vibe. And I've realized that everywhere that I was eating berries before, I can substitute frozen berries and not even notice the difference. Greek yogurt bowls, cereal, obviously smoothies, frozen berries and frozen fruits are great. So if you're wanting to save money and eat more fruit, I think frozen berries is the way to go. Also, I know this looks small, but it's actually really filling, so I'm gonna save my protein muffin for a little bit later this afternoon, but don't worry, I will be coming back for the protein muffin. I've been eyeing those babies since 7:30 a.m., so. Do you remember when I said that I was gonna have the muffin as an afternoon snack? I literally had it like 5 minutes after I said that. It was so good. It's the best Kodiak muffin flavor by far, in my humble opinion. My next tip is something that I struggle to follow myself, but it's to take it one thing at a time. I love trying to start 100 new healthy habits all at the same time, and I just honestly never learn my lesson because that strategy never works. I always get so excited and I try to like flip my life upside down overnight basically, and then I fall off most of the habits, I get frustrated with myself, I feel like a failure, and then I usually give up. So I share this so you can learn from my mistakes. One of my goals in 2025 is to avoid failure cycles where I just take on too much, set myself up for failure, then I fail, of course, I can't stick to my goals, and then I feel so disappointed and defeated. We're not doing that this year. I'm gonna focus on one healthy habit at a time, really getting that integrated and getting into that routine, and then even if I'm itching for more, I'm going to hold off until at least a week later. Please someone hold me to that. My next tip is to change things up, and I feel like if you're struggling to stay consistent, adding variety and keeping things interesting is so important to prevent boredom. Personally, I will never force myself to follow a perfectly optimized program if I hate the workouts I'm doing. I know some people have different opinions on this, and some people think that you need to follow like a boring, consistent routine week after week, month after month to be able to get results. And in my personal experience, that's just not true, honestly. And I've also just never had success with that. Whenever I try and do that, I just get so bored and I start resenting my workouts and skipping them, and I just fall off track. So for me, it's actually a lot better for consistency to add in that variety and try new styles of training
training and just be flexible with my plan. Like, I love having a plan, but I don't always perfectly stick to the plan. Sometimes a certain style of training or a workout class just looks fun that day. And when that's the case, I just go for it. There's so many different ways, even for like a cardio or weights workout, that you can structure it. Like, you can do AMRAP, EMOM, circuit style. You can do rep challenges. I love experimenting with different cardio machines at the gym. Sometimes I'll do my workouts outside if the weather's warm. Another tip that has been so helpful for me to stay consistent, especially during the periods where I'm just starting to wonder, like, is this even working? Am I even gonna see any results from this? Am I wasting my time right now? Tracking progress. Whether that's a checklist, a calendar up on your fridge where you cross off every day that you complete your healthy habits. Maybe it's like a habit tracker situation. I have one in Notion. If you have a physique goal, maybe you want to weigh yourself or take measurements or take progress photos. This year I have a new posting goal. So I have a goal to upload 52 videos in 2025. I've had many posting goals in the past, and all it took for me to be able to genuinely stick to my upload schedule and feel excited about my goal was adding a little tracker to my Notion home base, like my home page that I go to every single day, that shows me my progress on my video goal. That was all it took. It's easy to underestimate how valuable it can be to have some kind of tracker where you can see your progress, whether it's just showing up for your habits or tracking your actual results. I feel like it gives me a huge boost of motivation, which is so important after the novelty has worn off. I want to give an important caveat, especially if you're going to be doing physique goal progress tracking. Progress is not linear. You should see my fat loss like scale weight. It literally looks like this. It like zigzags every single day. Anyway, I still have to remind myself of this all the time, so I'm reminding myself as much as I'm reminding you. If you are going to be tracking progress that way, I think it's so important to zoom out and look across a longer period of time, because if you get too caught up in the day-to-day details and fluctuations, that can be discouraging, because there are a lot of things that can impact the way that we look, how much we weigh and whatnot, that have nothing to do with fat loss, muscle gain, or, you know, like whatever your physique goal is. So yeah, that definitely shouldn't discourage you, those day-to-day fluctuations. My final tip for this vlog is finding ways to make healthy choices the default. So for me, this is meal prep. If my fridge is full of healthy meals that genuinely taste good and are super easy to reheat, I am much more likely to have those meals instead of ordering DoorDash. I'm honestly really picky about meal prep, so it has to be something that is actually good reheated. I've thrown away so many soggy, sad vegetables because after they sit in the fridge for 4 days, they're honestly disgusting. But pasta is a good one. I like to keep the sauce separate and kind of combine it the night of so that it doesn't get soggy. I also love adding blended cottage cheese to my pasta sauce for an extra hit of protein. I pre-washed and pre-chopped my kale just to make it super easy to assemble the salad. I've been obsessed with kale Caesars lately. If you follow my channel though, you would know I get most of my evening protein from my Ninja Creamy protein ice cream. So I prep Ninja Creamies in advance as well. Let's be clear, I really do it up with my toppings and mix-ins for protein ice cream. Right now I'm obsessed with adding Oreos to make cookies and cream. I also love to drizzle fudge, caramel, whipped cream, rainbow sprinkles. Like, this is a full sundae bar. It is out of control. It's so good. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog and that it was hopefully helpful if you've been trying to stay consistent with your health and fitness journey. At the end of the day, I feel like it really does come down to the little things we can do to make health and fitness more enjoyable and really romanticize it. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more from me, make sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you next time.